Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you've all had a lovely day. So, hang on. I've only got one pair of earrings, that looks odd. There we go. I put in some little pearls. I never wear pearls. Anyway, I couldn't be further off topic of today's video. So that kind of leads me on to what today's video is actually about. So I have been asked so many questions about what life is like post Eurovision and about any upcoming projects and things like that. So I've asked you guys to ask me some questions on my Instagram and I'm going to answer them all for you today whilst I get unready. So this is actually one that I need to answer as carefully as possible because there are lots of things in the, is it woodwork? Is that the right word? Yeah, in the woodworks that I can't really reveal too much about as of right now, but keep your eyes peeled. It's all that I can really say about it. But just expect new music, new projects, but all be revealed soon. I'm just using some micellar water because I didn't actually get unready in that question because I'm bad at multitasking, so it's time to improve that. It's actually a really hard question that I get asked like all the time. It's actually a really difficult question to answer because there are so many amazing parts of Jesk, but then there are also lots of moments where I was just in my room on voice rest. But I think one of the moments that I always think about and I always refer back to is the after party. It was just such a nice way to close off the week and say goodbye to everyone. And then obviously one of them was being on stage. One of my proudest moments ever is just being on that stage because I know that it was definitely a challenge to actually get on the stage in the end because obviously there were talks of me being pulled out of the competition. So just having the opportunity to be on the stage and get to perform was just a standout memory for me in life. This is actually such a good question. I think it's also a really tricky one because our stylist George is literally so talented. Oh, I don't know how he comes up with all of these amazing things. Oh no, stop. What would I add to my costume? Nothing. Literally nothing. It was incredible. It was a costume of dreams and I would change nothing about it. Some of my closest friends from Jesk, I was such good friends with everyone who was there. I really got on with everyone. But I think the people who I still speak to the most today are probably Sophie, Gaia and Carlos. But I'm really close friends with everyone. But they're just people who I speak to the most. I'm currently just trying to brush out this huge knot. Can you even see it in my hair? Oh, it really hurts. I got it out, but it really hurt. Say pony. I've just somehow got my hair in a ridiculously high ponytail. I'm saying that it's not as high as my one from Jesk, so I can never get mine that high. I think doing the main contest has always been something that I'd be open to. But I think it's all kind of dependent on where my career is at the time. But it's definitely something that I'd be 1,000,000% up for, and I think it just sounds like it'd be such a fun thing to do because when I'm speaking to people like Sam Ryder, who obviously did it, he's telling me how it was so amazing and such an incredible experience. And I just, after doing Junior Eurovision, I just loved it and I'd love to get to do something like it again, but obviously we've got a couple years to wait yet. I had the random urge to do a face mask, and when I have an urge to do something, I do it. I've got so many face masks, but I literally never do them. We're doing the rose one, so. I know this is a non-Eurovision one, but I thought I'd answer it because I get quite a lot of questions like this. I use the GHD curves. They are the tongs. Is this tong? I don't know, I think so. Yeah, these are literally my favourite thing in the whole world, and I have actually posted a tutorial which I can link in the subscription. I sound like a YouTuber, oh my gosh. It's dripping on my leg. I don't really want to do it anymore. Have you seen lots of people on Pinterest and they do the most aesthetic skincare routines? And it's really gorgeous, and when they do their sheet mask, it honestly looks flawless, but that's just not going to be that for me. So if that's what you're expecting, I suggest you stop watching right now. I look like some sort of robot. Oh my gosh, I'm literally the definition of cringe. You ready? Thumbnail. This is such a tricky question. Sorry, I can't take myself seriously because I've got this on my face. But I need to let it... I haven't even read the instructions. Have I done it right? What was I saying? What was the question? A lot of the people that I met... It keeps on moving up, it's annoying me. A lot of the people that I met weren't actually showed in my interview on Saturday Mashup, which is also on my Instagram if you want to go check that out. So I also met people like Mimi Webb, Zara McDermott, but yeah, I really enjoyed meeting them. But I think my favourite person who was like shown on TV that I met was probably Sam Ryder. He was so nice, and he remembered me as well, which I was like in shock by. But then I also do actually have a photo, and it's a screenshot of when I'm looking at Lewis Capaldi. So Lewis Capaldi was being interviewed by the people next to me, and I look at the camera to be like, oh my gosh, I'm like this. I might actually post it on my Instagram because it's quite funny. And Lewis Capaldi's looking at me. Like, it was literally just like this. And then he stopped looking. He gave me like a side eye. Maybe I'll do that side eye TikTok thing with Lewis Capaldi. Oh my gosh. That's a really good question, which I think you need to take up with the charts. No, I'm joking. There are so many incredible artists in the top charts, which I just honestly, I'd be like honoured to be in the charts with them, which fingers crossed someday, or hopefully with my new music coming out very soon. This is coming off. It's making me lose my train of thought. Oh, my skin feels nice though. Anyway, carrying on after that whole palaver. Is palaver a word? I think it is. Or is it a cake? No, it's pavlova. No, I haven't actually seen any of the participants since Jess, which is such a shame. But I would love to meet up with some, maybe in the summer or in any of the breaks. It's definitely something that I need to see if I can arrange. So, I actually haven't watched myself back on Jess yet. I don't actually really know why. Like, I've listened to it without the sound on and stuff like that, but it is just really heartbreaking, like, watching it back and it just, like, being not exactly how I imagined it being. So I've watched it back, like, I've watched it with the volume down, and it literally looked so incredible. The staging was amazing, thanks to the amazing, incredible team. But I just haven't listened to it because I think it's still, even though it's been like 2 months, it's still quite fresh. It feels quite fresh for me because of just how it all kind of played out in the end. And I just think it's quite heartbreaking to have to listen, like, for me to listen to it back and me to not really have a voice, because it's something that I'm not really used to listening to. But I think hopefully soon I'll be able to listen to it back. I've heard like snippets, because sometimes videos become on my For You page. So I've heard like snippets of it from when I do like radio interviews and they play it. But I haven't actually like sat myself down and watched the whole performance through yet. My friends were all so excited when I got back from Jess. I mean, it was the Christmas break, so I didn't really see them for quite a while, because obviously I got home on like the 15th or something of December, and I didn't go back to school until like the 10th of January, so it had kind of blown over a little bit by the time I'd come back to school, because, you know, everyone was talking about their Christmas and things like that. But my really close friends were all so excited and so supportive about it, and I love them lots. I just got Lewis Capaldi's song stuck in my head, like, I'm not ready to be just another of your mistakes. I honestly think this is like a question that I don't think I've actually ever been asked, but it's obviously falling ill. it was really, really hard because I feel like going into it, you were expected to be like a crazy, you know, experience where you sing your heart on the stage, which obviously I did, and I tried my best, but it's just not kind of the way you imagine it. You imagine to be like healthy, belt the song and all that kind of stuff, and to get there and then not be able to, it's obviously quite upsetting, and it was really, really hard to kind of have to face that. And I think another really hard part was being told that I was gonna get pulled out, because basically I haven't really explained this in depth, and I feel like this is the video to do it. So what happened was everyone had 2 rehearsals to start with. So the first rehearsal you have is all about camera angles and things like that, where I just had playback for that completely. I literally just mimed the whole entire thing. And then the second rehearsal, I didn't go. And then the third rehearsal was usually meant to be where you film your little like 20-second clip, and it's kind of like the sneak peek first look thing that goes out on YouTube, and it's also the video that you use when you vote. So if you go on the voting app, you have to watch like a video of every single person's performance, like a little clip of it. And mine was playback from the very first rehearsal I'd ever had, because I wasn't well enough to go in and record this video. So then the next time we were on the stage was the Saturday, which was a very busy day because we had 2 full run-throughs of the show. So the first run-through, there was no audience, you just kind of go through it. So, and you had to sing live, which was the hardest part for me because I sounded like a croaky frog, I'll be honest. So I had to sing, but at that time I physically could really get nothing out of me. So I had all of my dancers, they were really singing bits for me and filling in for the bits that I physically couldn't do. And then I did do the Junior Eurovision 2022, Make Some Noise. So then it was the jury show, and how it worked for me was they said, we might be able to play your recording from your first rehearsal that day in the jury show. So that is what the jury would vote on, and they said if it's good, we'll put it forward to the jury and you can compete tomorrow, and if it's not, then you'll be pulled out. And that was really, really heartbreaking to hear, and it's kind of something that you have to kind of face and just accept it, because it was literally the next day I was going to perform, and it's like, well, I'm hardly going to be 100% better by tomorrow. So I kind of had to face it, but luckily they said it was alright. So I went home, I didn't do the jury show, and they just used a recording of the performance I'd done earlier on in the day, and then I obviously performed live in the live show, but my incredible dancers did sing the pre-chorus for me because they are incredible. But that's kind of the story. It was probably a bit long, but that was like the whole kind of story. If it made any sense, I'm the worst storyteller, but I tried my best. Yes, I am still good friends with my dancers. I messaged them and I actually met up with one of my dancers, Misha, aka some people might know her as Fred Berego from the Matilda movie. I actually met up with her on the weekend, and we recorded a really fun roller skating video, because I am a new presenter on a CBBC show which is called Love Love Love, which you can go check out on BBC iPlayer, and an episode, I don't know when it's coming out, I think it'll be in the next couple of weeks, but I'll put on my Instagram when it's out, and it's of us 2 doing the Matilda dance on roller skates, which it was quite funny, so I recommend you go and watch it when it's out, because it'll be a funny one. But I did that with Misha, and it was really nice to see her, because I hadn't seen her since Jess, so it was nice to be with her again. So I'm actually done with my skincare now, but I'm just going to kind of answer some questions and just sit and chat with you guys. I think not being able to do my high note was one of the things that I was probably least worried about. Like, I was more worried about just getting through the song, let alone the high note. I think as soon as I felt ill, and it was like 3 days before my performance, we were like, yeah, she can't do the high note, it's not going to happen. But it was more of just a concern of like, not being able to do the song. Anyway, I think it was quite cool doing the Junior Eurovision Make Some Noise. Obviously the high note would have been so cool to do in that huge arena, because can we just talk about how amazing the arena was? I mean, just getting to see all the people with their flags, and I think it was a really, really nice moment saying Junior Eurovision Make Some Noise, because it was just a bit of a second, like after I said it, I just looked out into the crowd and it was just a bit of like a, wow, like, how has this happened to me? Like, I've gotten so lucky, and I think so many people would do anything for the opportunity to perform on Jesk, as I would as well, but being ill is like, but I still got to do it at the end of the day. So not being able to do my high note was probably the least of my concerns, but obviously being ill wasn't ideal, but I'm just so lucky that I was still able to perform and sing to this amazing crowd, and it was just like a pinch me moment. So rehearsal times will kind of start at different times for every single person. So none of us rehearsed like together. Well, there was two rehearsals. There was obviously the common song rehearsal, and then there was the actual like singing rehearsal for like our own songs. And for our own songs, I think you'd have like a 45, maybe not even 45 minutes, maybe like half an hour, and then different people would come every 30 minutes. But then for the common song rehearsal, I don't know what time it started because I didn't actually rehearse it. So when I did it in the jury show, it's actually the first time I'd done it. So I was very worried, but it went fine, which is what matters. I think this is like, it's quite an odd question for me because it's like, I'd love to go back and do it all again, but I just think it wouldn't be the same, like doing it without like Carlos and like Sophie and Gaia and like just everyone who was there this year, because they're all so lovely. And I mean, I wouldn't want to go back and be like, I want to go and do it again because I love my voice. Like that's not what it's about. I just think I would have loved to be able to go back and perform Lose My Head, like to its full potential. Like, yeah, I think that's something that I really hope that I can have the opportunity to do it in the next coming years, this year, next year, just to be able to perform Lose My Head with all of the dancers, all the staging, the costumes, just as it would have been on the night if I had a voice. I mean, that's a great idea. I'd love to do that. I usually go to Spain. I actually usually go to Spain in the summer for like 5 days or so, just to get out there, because I do love Spain so much. Such a beautiful country. And I mean, I'd love to go visit Carlos and meet some Spanish fans. I mean, it's a great idea, something that I'd love to arrange. And I mean, I'd just love to meet you all. I think after the crazy week that I'd had, being on stage I was so calm. I just like was sitting on my throne, casual, sitting on my throne like this, looking out at the audience and just seeing everyone waving their flags. And it was just like, after this crazy week, how do we pull this off? How am I performing? So it was just a massive like, wow, how did I get so lucky moment. So yeah, I do. It's so crazy saying it out loud, because it's something that like me 3 years ago could only like dream of, like being recognised. Like, it's so crazy. It's not very often that I get recognised, but when I do, it's just like crazy. It's just like absolutely crazy. It's like pinch me moment. But it's so nice meeting people, and sometimes I get messages and people are like, oh, I thought I saw you today, like here, like was it you? And I'm like, yeah, you should have come said hi, because I love meeting you guys so much. So if you ever think you see me, come over, because it's so nice meeting you guys and just getting to know you all, because you are all literally the best and I just want to meet every single one of you. So I am gonna close this video off here with one final question, which I think is a really nice question to end the video on. It is, how do you feel when you reflect on Jesk and realise you won the public vote? I can't even put into words how incredible the feeling is. It's just like mind-blowing looking back, and I just feel so lucky that I have such incredible fans who have supported me and who voted for me on Jesk, and I just love you all so, so, so much. And you all literally mean the world to me. Reflecting on Jess, it's just like, what an incredible experience. And I just loved every second of it. It was such an incredible opportunity. And I just loved it so much. So I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who watched this video to the very end. I really, really enjoyed making videos like this, and I always love talking about Jess and answering your questions. I know this is meant to be like a post Jess, like what's life like after Jess, but I did answer lots of questions about it being in Jess, because I feel like there's so many questions that I read and I'm like, haven't answered that yet. So it is always nice going back there and just like bringing up all the memories again. But thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed and I answered some more of your questions, and I love you all lots. Bye. Love you all.